The Rights and Democracy organization in Burlington is a movement working with the people and for the people. From making sure every worker earns a livable wage to securing healthcare and education for all, this movement is focused on countering the influence of money in politics and to hold elected officials accountable to upholding our rights in the democracy we live in.
Workers should have rights to decisions that are made in their workplace, and also the right to a safe and healthy work environment.
I think every worker should have fair wages, good working conditions, and break times.
Equal pay, the opportunity for breaks, some vacations, reasonable work hours.
My reservation wage is $9.50, and a good minimum wage, I would say, is $15.
Minimum, I would accept probably $10 an hour, but I definitely think you can't live off of less than $20 an hour.
My reservation wage is above $25 per hour.
I've definitely bought from Walmart, and I've heard that they do not treat their workers fairly at all.
I would say most clothing companies that I buy from don't treat their workers fairly, and most electronic companies don't treat their workers fairly, and a lot of food companies don't either.
I don't really think about it when I'm buying something, like right away. My first thought isn't, oh, how does this company treat their workers?
Yes, it's important to me that companies treat their workers fairly, and if I'm made aware that a company is known for not treating their workers fairly, then I would most likely buy from them less.
There are many basic rights that every worker should have. All workers should have economic justice. Reasonable minimum wage payments, family and medical leave insurance, and economic security are all important to gain economic justice. Along with economic justice, other basic rights that are very important for workers to have are freedom from forced labor, freedom from discrimination, and just basic human rights overall.
Just earlier this week, the Rights and Democracy members in the State House are celebrating a victory as the Senate Committee on Economic Development, Housing, and General Affairs has decided to strike out the section of S-23, a minimum wage bill, that would establish a permanent year-round sub-minimum wage for high school workers.
I know there was some changes to legislation about donations and how much money can be donated to political campaigns. And I think that's made a huge difference about who has a voice in democracy and who doesn't have a voice in democracy.
While ideally it would be great to support only companies that treat their workers justly, this is very hard to do in actuality. For example, the garment industry, which is worth $2.4 trillion and employs millions of workers, is full of labor rights violations, ranging from unhealthy working conditions to anti-union practices. Therefore, it is hard to not buy from these companies as they account for a giant share of the market and they offer an essential good, which in this case is clothes.
I do know that there are certain companies like Uber, they don't treat their employees very well. Their wages are extremely low. They get very small amount of money per ride, and you can give tips, but most of the tips go to Uber. So when I go in Uber, usually I give cash tips to help them out.
The RAD has just endorsed candidates in each of the upcoming Burlington City Council races as part of its ongoing commitment to elect folks to office who will listen to people on the most important issues facing our neighborhoods today. Lack of affordable housing, livable wages, systemic discrimination and oppression, and climate change.